In the heart of the Caucasus, an alliance is taking shape. On August 19th, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian arrived in Yerevan, greeted not just with protocol, but with purpose. 10 agreements signed, promises of trade, railways, and culture. Yet, behind the handshakes lies a deeper message. Iran is drawing red lines against foreign powers, against the so-called Trump route, and Armenia is listening. Iran and Armenia moved to elevate their partnership on the 19th of August 2025, when Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian visited Yerevan for talks with Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. The two sides signed 10 memorandums of understanding across diverse fields, including politics, culture, tourism, industry, urban development, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. One notable agreement involved cooperation between Armenia's Ministry of Economy and Iran's National Standards Organization in areas of standardization, accreditation, and conformity assessment, according to Armen Press. Additional MOUs covered cinema, vocational education, pharmaceuticals, and urban construction projects. In his remarks, Pezeshkian underscored Iran's long-standing commitment to Armenia's sovereignty, while expressing unease about external actors near their shared border. Tehran, he said, supported Armenia's sovereignty and territorial integrity while voicing concern over foreign involvement near their shared border, as he met the Armenian premier in Yerevan.
In my meeting with the Prime Minister of Armenia, I emphasized that the Islamic Republic of Iran firmly believes in preserving Armenia's sovereignty and territorial integrity and maintaining warm, continuing relations between our two countries. Our concerns regarding the presence of third-party forces near our shared borders must be fully addressed.
He added during a joint press conference,
Outsourcing the resolution of Caucasus issues to extra-regional forces will only complicate the situation in the region.
Armenia's Prime Minister welcomed these statements and highlighted the value of Iran's role as a reliable partner.
I am confident that Masoud Pezeshkian's visit will bring new energy and quality to Armenian-Iranian relations. We both agreed that the time has come to work toward elevating our country's relations to a strategic level.
Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi also joined the talks, signing a 2025-2027 political consultation memorandum with his Armenian counterpart Ararat Mirzoyan.
The negotiations were serious. We had very serious discussions, both regarding cooperation between the two countries in the economic fields, which is very extensive, including trade, investment, and implementation of technical and engineering projects, as well as cultural cooperation, which is very broad due to the cultural ties between the two countries.
He said both sides agreed to finalize a comprehensive strategic cooperation document soon, adding that Yerevan had assured Tehran of its awareness of Iran's regional sensitivities. During Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian's visit to Yerevan, trade and infrastructure took center stage, with both governments pledging to expand economic cooperation. Bilateral commerce has already shown steady growth, reaching $737.4 million in 2024, a 6.5% increase on the previous year. In the first 5 months of 2025, trade climbed a further 4% to $278.7 million. Building on this momentum, Iran's Industry Minister Saeed Mohammad Atabak and Armenia's Economy Minister Gevog Papoyan set a new target, tripling trade to $3 billion. A joint working group of deputy ministers will now fast-track industrial and commercial deals. Infrastructure also featured prominently, as Iranian Transport Minister Farzaneh Sadegh and her Armenian counterpart David Hovhannisyan discussed key corridors, rail links, and logistics. Both sides highlighted the strategic significance of the North-South corridor and the Persian Gulf Black Sea route, underscoring their role in reshaping regional trade flows.
New routes must not come at the expense of geopolitical changes. The reopening of the Julfa-Yerevan, Georgia rail link is a major step in boosting regional transit, and this visit marks a turning point in Tehran-Yerevan transport and logistics relations.
Hovhannisyan thanked Iranian contractors for their performance and confirmed a tender for the north-south route, adding that a joint working group would address a tariff disparity affecting Iranian vehicles. Customs facilitation also featured prominently. Mohammad Reza Bahraman, deputy head of Iran Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, called for a four-party committee involving both chambers of commerce and customs authorities to streamline border operations. Meanwhile, Hamid Asghari, International Deputy of Iranian Mining Corporation, emphasized the need for digital customs processing and green corridor mechanisms for perishable goods. Armenia's Rafael Gorkian, Deputy Head of the State Revenue Committee, said his government had expanded border infrastructure and awarded a new road contract to an Iranian company. Beyond trade, tourism is another growing connector. According to Armenia's Tourism Committee, Iranian visitors increased by 20% in 2024 compared with 2023. In the first 11 months of last year, 176,000 Iranians traveled to Armenia, while 276,000 Armenians visited Iran, making Iranians the third largest group of tourists in Armenia after Russians and Georgians. Despite the positive momentum, the shadow of the Zangezur corridor loomed large over the talks. The project, proposed after the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh War, seeks to connect Azerbaijan with its Nakhchivan exclave via southern Armenia. In early August, Armenia and Azerbaijan signed a US-brokered peace agreement at the White House, rebranding the disputed route as the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity. The deal, hailed by Washington as a landmark for regional stability, grants US companies long-term development rights over the corridor. For Tehran, however, the arrangement represents a direct security threat. Iranian officials argue that US or NATO-linked involvement on Armenia's soil would put foreign forces directly on Iran's border and jeopardize its strategic access to Yerevan. Araghchi reiterated this position after the Yerevan talks.
Armenia will never allow its territory to be used as a threat against Iran. Armenian officials have told us they have respected and paid attention to all of Iran's red lines in this matter.
While Armenia insists that it will retain full sovereignty over the Trump route, Pezeshkian warned that external solutions would only complicate regional dynamics.
Leadership in the region should belong to the Caucasus states, and exporting the region's problems to external powers only complicates the situation.
For Armenia, the corridor's development is part of a broader recalibration toward new trade routes following tensions with Azerbaijan and the collapse of Russian influence in the Caucasus. For Iran, the stakes are existential, with policymakers seeing the TRIP project as a cover for broader US and NATO ambitions in the region. Despite these concerns, Pezeshkian's visit underscored a determination on both sides to pursue strategic-level relations. The agreements signed in Yerevan, covering transport, customs, energy, tourism, and political consultations, point to a rapidly expanding partnership, even as geopolitical turbulence reshapes the South Caucasus.